Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to talk to you today. To give a quick introduction of myself, I'm the CEO of Middle-earth HR. Passed out in 91 from IIM Calcutta. Before that, I did my BE in Computer Science from IIT Roorkee. And it's been 30 years with the training industry. I've been an international trainer, gone to almost, 20 odd countries, taught thousands of people in the top Fortune 500 companies. But this is an unprecedented time in our history. COVID has forced a lot of changes on L&D, and I'm here to talk to you about some of the new things that we can do together and look at how we can face this new challenge together. Let's get started. To tell you a little bit about the company that I work with, Middle-earth HR is not an unfamiliar name to HR professionals throughout India, in fact in Asia. We are today Asia's #1 company for HR and leadership certifications. We started 22 years ago with a mission statement to help companies become the best that we can be. We have an unprecedented client base of over 5,000 companies, and many of them are Fortune 500 companies who have been with us for many years. If you name some of the top companies of India, the chances are we would have worked with them at some point of time or the other. We today proudly can say we have Asia's largest calendar of HRM and leadership certifications with participants from over 50 countries. This calendar today encompasses close to maybe about 1,000 launches every year. So 1,000 certification programs every year are being launched by us. And these batches go on, some of them for 6 months, some of them for 3 months, some of them for 6 to 8 weeks. We have mentored and supported over 10,000 HR projects in over 500 organizations in the last 22 years. We have worked closely with L&D and HR professionals to build better practices in many of these companies. So now I would like to tell you about what is the challenge we are facing. I think all of us, L&D people in companies, training companies, are facing this challenge with COVID. And managing L&D has become so much more difficult after COVID-19. Sitting at home and trying to ensure that high impact L&D happens in your companies is definitely becoming a challenge. I talk to L&D people every day, and the situation is not easy. You have a group of people who are at home. They're not willing to come to a common place. Trying to see whether people are learning through Zoom sessions with blank screens and most of the time where you can't even see the person. Sometimes it's a challenge. How do you ensure that you can do high impact L&D? And companies are suffering. In fact, a study said that 78% of HR decision makers say that the ongoing e-learning is very useful to boost employee morale, satisfaction, longevity, and it's also instrumental in enhancing the competitive edge. But you have to get that learning right. As I said, when you're watching people, and can you ensure that you get a proper ROI of learning, even though people are at home, where managers are away from them, can we ensure that we get this kind of learning edge? Research in the current situation is also showing that functional skills, and I mean skills like marketing, finance, HR, the various main functions of any organization, these training programs and certifications are really required. And the second area that most people feel organizations need is strong leadership. Leaders are feeling isolated. Sitting at home trying to manage a remote team is not an easy job. And therefore, leadership training is emerging as a priority need in today's new normal. So what is Middle-earth doing about it? I'm happy to say that we have evolved a very strong digital learning solutions in the last few months to enhance our e-learning offering, which we had started developing 3 years ago. So let me tell you a little bit about these, and hopefully some of them may be of some use to you in your learning. So I'll just run through these quickly. It may take 5-10 minutes. Please bear with me. So let me start with our leadership certifications. Now, there is a lot of skills which leaders require more than ever. Things like innovation and design thinking. Skills like building high-performance teams, being a better leader, managing change and organizational development, coaching. Aren't these some of the skills which you really require in today's new normal? And I'm happy to say that we have 10 of these certifications which will enhance the skill of any leader. And these certifications are already available on e-learning, but if you would like, these can also be made available through live Zoom synchronous learning. Now let me tell you a little bit about these 11 leadership programs that we have developed. The duration of each program is over 6 weeks, or you can finish each program within 3 weeks. When I say 3 weeks, that means every week you do about 3 to 4 hours of content. Now, if you do it on Saturday, Sunday, both contents, then you can finish it even within 3 weeks. Each program contains 15 to 30 carefully developed learning bites. What do I mean by a learning bite? A learning bite is typically a 1-hour schedule of learning. Part of it would be video, part of it will be self-review and self-analysis. All these programs are done by some of the finest faculty in India, and they have been built by our award-winning design team. Each project, and this is something I would like to emphasize upon, focuses on 6 learning projects. That means when you learn that 1-hour learning bite, so let's say you do 2 learning bites in a week, then you will do a learning project. And these learning projects will transfer whatever you learned to an application in the workplace. And that's the real heart of these programs, which make these programs very practical. These projects are supported by our coaches. We have live support sessions by faculty, and we have mentors, a whole group of experienced corporate people who support these projects. So the mentors, coaches, and faculty are available to ensure application. What are the kind of programs do we cover in these 11 leadership programs? So first is the inner thinker. As a leader, all of us need to understand, to think in particular ways which enhance our ability to manage a team. The first of our skills that we talk about here is the innovation and design thinking aspect. Very, very important in a time like COVID. The maximal leader, how do you keep yourself strong internally? How do you manage your time? How do you build courage, resilience? As well as how do you manage your team? So managing self under such difficult circumstances and managing others is covered in this program called Maximal Leader, or 10x your personal performance. And obviously, while change is inevitable in the new normal, analytics helps you analyze what is the data telling you. How can we predict what will happen in such unpredictable times? That's where analytics comes in. And then emotional intelligence. It's tough, stressful. Can you manage your emotions better? And this is where this program focuses on. Then, we have what we call the influencer skill. Now, while a leader becomes strong inside, he needs to deal with others, he needs to negotiate, he needs to coach, and he needs to understand the psychology of people. And that's where these 3 certifications come in. And finally, there is the builder of firms. Now, while a manager is working internally, he's also analyzing things and conducting organizational development and change initiatives. How do you support a culture which is remote? How do you develop a structure which is fluid and is meeting your needs? All these are in the OD aspects. And this is what we are covering in OD. So now, Middle-earth is very famous for leadership certifications, but our heart, where we started and which is our strongest area, is our HR certifications. And we have a whole group of HR certifications. In fact, we have 18 programs which are in e-learning, which is through a LMS and is asynchronous. But we also have 5 to 6 programs which are synchronous learning, which we do through LiveZoom. So totally we have almost close to 24 certifications. So what are these certifications about? The E-based series, which is what I'm focusing on right now, is 18 HR skill building programs. And Middle-earth is the #1 program body in Asia for HR certifications. Every year, 2,000 plus HR professionals come to us for certification for learning. And many, many companies use us as their remote partner to help certify their teams. So let me tell you a little bit about these programs. The duration is just like our leadership certification, 6 weeks, or you can finish in 3 weeks. Each program contains 15 to 30 learning bites, globally acknowledged faculty, and most importantly, built by award-winning teams and supported through action learning. The same way that our leadership programs are, these 18 e-learning programs constitute the heart of our support initiative to help HR people. We are also, I'm proud to say, coming out with 4 new certifications specifically for the COVID times, which we are in the process of developing and we should be launching in the next 2 to 3 months. So actually we'll go up to almost 28 HR certifications, which I might say may be a first in the world that there are so many certifications for HR professionals. Now, what are those programs that we are talking about? Those 18 certifications. You can see the list here. We cover compensation, learning and development, HRM, coaching, and recruitment. You want more details about this, of course, at the end of this video, we'll give you a person that you can talk to find out more about these certifications. But let's go to the third box. Drip feed spotlight sessions. What do we mean by drip feed spotlight sessions? Often companies are now thinking about a drip feed session. What does a drip feed session mean? It's like half an hour to 1 hour of focused learning every week or every fortnight. Why is it important to have these focused learning sessions? It helps the leadership teams or the HR teams come together in one place, talk about something which is practical, which will help them change, evolve, and make the situation better. So these are very short sessions, which we call spotlight sessions. Each spotlight session is just for an hour and focuses on one critical skill that people require in such times. These sessions can also have a project or need not have a project, depending on the need. These sessions can be done through e-learning or just done through LiveZoom. And this keeps learning alive, people motivated and focused during this time. So spotlight sessions, as I said, are focus sessions of an hour, 2 hours, or it can go up to half a day, which integrates videos, facilitated group sessions, and culminates in a participation certificate for swift organizational learning journeys. You can decide to have a few of these over a period of weeks or concentrate on it for one small initiative which will help change your situation. Then, of course, we have customized programs. Now, this is where any L&D manager can approach us and ask for a mixture of video-based training, synchronous learning through Zoom, and combine these into very, very powerful modules. So it can be pre-recorded, high impact, group coaching, etc. The combination of these things makes the learning very impactful. So let's take a typical customized program. I'm not going to name this client, but it's one of the very big manufacturing companies. They wanted their leadership team to get a very focused learning. So what did they do? We do, I think, a 2 to 3 hour sessions on a weekend, on a Saturday. Then they are supposed to do project works over, let's say, a week to 10 days. And then we sit on a coaching session to see where have they applied what they have learned, how well they have applied. And some of these ideas are taken up by the company for actual comprehensive implementation. Many of these ideas have saved the company or implemented, have produced very good results to the company in recent times. So these kind of customized programs can evolve and can be focused on specific areas or cover a broad competency in depth. And we would love to design these programs for you. This is one of our bread and butter areas. The success of these programs are these live courses. Live courses have been averaging around 4.6 on a 5-point scale. And we have been really getting rave reviews for a lot of these programs, even though they are on Zoom. Partly because our trainers are globally validated, and to some extent we have done a lot of ongoing training for our trainers to ensure they are able to do live Zoom classes with the same facility that they were able to do classroom. Hey guys, so let me tell you about our Emerging Leadership series. This I would call our signature leadership training programs. We have 3 signature leadership training programs. And what makes it different from a typical trainer's program or customized training that you might do with others is that we have close to, in each of these programs, close to 100 learning bites. Now, what does each learning bite have? Most of these learning bites, I will not say all, have pre-recorded video components which are very well developed. Each of these components have a practical application series which ensures that the learning is applied, and you can definitely at the end of the program show the ROI very well for each of these programs. So how does these programs work and at what levels are they? We have 3 signature programs. The first signature program is what we call a first-time manager program. The second signature program is what we call a leadership program. And third is the strategic leader program, which is normally meant for departmental heads and above. Now, each of these programs are built around these learning bites, right? So a typical learning bite may be, let's say, giving feedback as an example. This would be part of the entire 100 series of learning bites which are built around 6 to 7 major heads. For example, giving feedback may be part of communicating and managing and influencing people. So this learning bite, now let's say you have 100 learning bites. It's not that we will teach all 100. We will carefully assess and find out which are the skills which are required by your people at that level. When I say required, those are the skills which have a high impact on performance, but currently people are weak in. Right? So once we do the assessment, we can identify which are the training areas where people really need and which will impact on their performance. Right? So once we identify those areas, we kind of build the program around those areas. And the best part is we have both video components as well as classroom components as well as coaching components. So the combination of these 3 areas, coaching, classroom, and video-based learning creates a very rich learning which ensures both that people understand what they learned and they're able to apply what they learned. So as you can see, we have this combination to create an impactful learning. And therefore, we customize out of these pre-recorded 100 learning bites, which can be delivered either through Zoom or through areas, through a detailed discussion and analysis, which we call a learning heat map for leaders. Our feedback has been excellent. I would really advise you to talk to one of our learning consultants, and we are happy to do a free heat map for you so that you can actually see which are the critical learning areas for leaders that you really need. Beyond learning, in terms of traditional classroom or even video-based learning, is our coaching solutions. We provide carefully selected coaches who support transitions for your people and or just coaching them on emotional support, guidance, etc. in such tough times. Our coaches is very, very useful and must-have solution in today's business world. The coaches are trained to help your leaders develop. The coaches help develop an individual developmental plan, also support the attitude development required for this kind of roles. So this is something, and it typically lasts 3 to 6 months. So guys, what is our learning promise? We have talked about our digital learning solutions, but what is the secret sauce of Middle-earth? We've been there for 22 years. We have kind of become one of the leading players in Asia. We trained over 5,000 companies. So why is it that there are almost 50,000 companies in India, training companies? Some of them are just an individual trainer, some of them is a group of 2-3 trainers, but they don't grow too well. Middle-earth has grown. So what makes it special, I think, is our unrelenting focus on 2-3 key aspects. Let me discuss these key aspects, the 3 key aspects of Middle-earth. The first thing is, our programs are very practical. In fact, as a trainer, when I do these programs, the most common comment I hear from most of my participants is, hey, this was really practical. I've also been a visiting faculty at IIMs, ISB, I think, and I've seen a lot of training. And I'm not putting down anybody's training, but I think not all the training is very practical. A lot of it is theoretical. And when you attend some of these training programs, only a small percentage of them can be applied. But in Middle-earth, it's different. We have a huge number and a huge focus on making each of our programs practical. First, each program has specific learning objectives. In fact, when I talked about the emerging leadership or our signature programs, I said we have almost 100 learning bites, but we focus maybe only on 15 of them in any program, or maybe 20 of them, which if you think each program is about 1 hour of learning and 2-3 hours of practical focus. So you can see that 15 learning bites will take about 15 hours, but for a person to apply that will take another 30 hours. So it kind of focuses on very precise learning outcomes which people can use immediately. Second is, each project is basically a lot of it focuses on actually applying things. This ensures with the coaching, live leadership, live faculty sessions for support, ensures level 3 learning. I call this the flipped classroom model, which means that most of the focus of the classroom is actually on the projects. Like, take a typical trainer. A trainer does training and then he leaves you. The people are expected to do the application on their own. In our flip model, the training is only 20% of our focus. It can be done even through a self-video, a self-learning video, which we have carefully developed. But the project work, we have live contact with our coaches, with our mentors, and also if they still have a problem, they can come into the weekly sessions which our faculty do exclusively for project support. This is a unique model which most companies don't do. This ensures that at the end of the training, people are able to apply what they've learned. The other thing which makes our faculty special is all of them are practitioners of the art that they teach. And we have a project support team which is one of the best in the industry. In fact, I shouldn't name some of the companies which work with us, but one of the biggest IT majors came to us and said, we are having project completion rates of 30 to 40% in e-learning. Only 40% of people who take up e-learning are able to do it. I told him, sir, give us a chance and give our team a chance. And I'm happy to say he was surprised at the results. At the end of the process, he came back and said, wow, what did you do? 85% of people completed within the time and another 10% completed within 2-3 weeks. So which means close to 90-95% completion rate was what we were able to do. And this client was bowled over and gave us at least another 20 projects to complete. Our project support team is really good. And so are our mentors. And as I said, they always have an option of coming into our live sessions with our faculty. Only for project support. And we get a maximal completion rate of over 90%. So this is pretty good. Normally, a majority of people complete within the time, and then we follow up and ensure that at least 90% of people try to complete their projects. The other learning promise is quality. We have won many global awards. We follow best practices in design. And we have a very high return rate of participants. That means people who attend our program come back again and again and again to our products. And we have our own in-house e-learning development lab so that we can ensure that we can keep up the quality of the video that we take, of the rendering that we do, and the integration that we can have with our authoring tools. So this ensures our quality is very high, guys. And we have a very good instructional design team. Now finally, all our programs are globally validated. When I say globally validated, we have a 20-year history. We have over 5,000 companies who have nominated employees to our program, and they don't work with us only once. Nearly every company comes to us again and again and again. And we are also HRCI approved. So the Human Resource Certification Institute is one of the world's premier bodies which accredits programs, approves programs. We are an approved provider. We are a KHDA approval. KHDA is the government of Dubai approval. And our certifications are also ISO 9000 approved. So guys, let me leave you with some of the feedback. It was a spectacular program, Nitin sir. I mean, you substitute that name Nitin with any faculty. That faculty is simply outstanding with his magnificent eloquence. I related to the subject knowledge gained from each module. My best wishes to HR. And so on and so forth. I mean, these are just 1 out of 20,000 referrals that we have. I don't think any other company can promise so many referrals. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for staying patiently with me towards the end. It would be a privilege for Middle-earth to work with you and support you in these difficult times with very good digital learning solutions. Our senior consultant who heads our corporate relationship team, her name is given there, Supriya Januri. I would advise you to reach out to her and help craft a fantastic learning solution which really would add value to your company and your employees. And I hope we have the opportunity to work together. Thank you so very much.